fine, the deposit's been paid, so and this is my Jabbar, Jaisuki, this is my friend Jabbar Muhammad. I feel awkward because I owe him money, so I don't trust what he's going to say. So it would be rude, mostly tell the people what I'm saying. So, I love you, I won't pay you at the end of the week. So it's great. It is great to be here, and it's a celebration. I mean, I've heard 20 years of marketing. Before, people were so much as a pause button was drugged, and so immediately, Mr. Wendy just went away. So, wow, you people are powerful, eh? Looking like this. I was right in the car. By the time you sit down, you need help. She looks at me, she's still in whisper mode. She touches her damply, and she's like, how are you feeling? I'm thinking, yeah, girl. That invoice that you sending me, JP to your back home. You know, the invoice isn't a whisper. The invoice isn't, how are you feeling? That invoice is easy, nana. And then 20 years kicked in when you started your marketing. My life was very significant for me 20 years ago. Because many people in the room, you lost parents, because we get older, we are now the older people. I was talking to my cousin yesterday. I said, do you remember when we used to sit in the lounge and one aunt would say she's 34 and be like, yo, she's 34. But now we are way past that. So of course many of us have lost parents. And 20 years ago, I lost my dad. It was a very significant time. You know, journalists have always asked me over the years, what line will you never cross when you're doing your comedy? And I said I didn't have an answer for them until it came into my life. Because my dad, you know, many people that you know and love, my dad went off to the doctor. Doctor said, bad news. I'm sitting there with my dad. He said, cancer. We don't know how long you have to let it serve, but we can start with treatments anyway. And when the doctor said that, I thought, there's the line. I could never possibly talk about that because so many of us are affected by it. But this is what you learn through comedy, especially with South Africans. You know, the more awkward our lives become, the memes come through faster and faster. And I mean, you've seen it with load shedding. And we just get very, it's our coping mechanism, if you like. And my dad goes for his teeth, and my dad's got the cancer. And when we grew up, like you, there were words we never were allowed to say because the adults never used it to protect us. Cancer was one of those words. If anybody in the road, in the neighborhood, or in the family had cancer, the adults would protect you, but you work it out. And they would look at someone else in the room and go, do you know what? She's not doing so well. You must know why she's got. To work out what that is. Many things we were protected from. Colored people didn't know. Must they use the word colored? White people were talking to brown people. They thought, I don't know what's politically correct. Do I use the word colored? So people started getting more clever about it. So if a white girl was getting married to a brown guy at work, they would say, you know what? She was getting married to a. Good looking. Words we never said. Gay was the word in your family they never said. They never said the word gay. Never said it. If you suspected anybody in your family was gay and he got up and left the lounge, the rest of you would all look at each other and go, don't you make me think that is? So if you were having a skinner session about the gay colored with cancer, so we never use the word. Never use the word. And of course, you know, I thought, well, that is a line that I will never ever cross, man. And we cannot possibly, we can't find anything funny about it. But this is about life on the Cape Flats. Our ways of surviving. People love laughter when we least expect it. My dad goes for it. My dad had hair like mine. I've got one brother, Tony, 2 years older. My dad had hair like mine, and of course off he goes for his treatment, and then loses the hair, and then eventually my dad's hair grew back. But when his hair grew back, it grew back straight. Now couch. My mommy's looking at my daddy. She's looking at me and my brother. She's looking back at my daddy. She's going, now the two of you maybe want to consider chemo. How nice your daddy's looking. Thank you, mashallah. Thank you, God. So we find different ways of coping, But I'm happy to be a child of the mother city, of course. Traveling, that is your business. And I've got to tell you, when I travel, immediately, no matter how annoyed you get before you leave, go, oh, I gotta go away. Then I miss Cape Town. I really do. And I mean, because especially when people assume when you visit their countries that you want to stay there illegally, and you think, you're not here, right? Hey, but you start thinking. You start thinking. Okay, don't do that like that. But you start. That's just my emotion. But you start thinking. No, I don't want to stay here. Stop interrogating me. I'm legitimately here on a holiday. I love watching South Africans when we land at Heathrow. Now you must accept. But we panic when we land. Even if you're guilty of nothing, you start thinking, I should have washed my backpack. Because my cousin, he smokes dacha. He's always near me. The smell of the dachas in the backpack, nobody wanna. Hey, you panic. We're standing in the queue at Heathrow, man, and this guy, they're in a good mood. And Heathrow, they always wear those black uniforms. They were in a great mood. We land up from our Tambo. They were trying to be efficient and make things move along quicker. So they say, all African travelers, this way, please. We all stare at each other. I mean, with our history, we're so freaked out by everything. Someone's saying, no, it's a lekker thing. They're pushing us through. The guy smiles to make us feel okay. He says, all African travelers, this way, please. We eventually feel, no, this is lekker. And we all move on. And we were right. They just wanted to move things along that day. We all move on. He says all African travelers, except for this one woman. She bounces forward and she's like, I'm sorry, and Cape Town? Forgetting an award-winning comedian, So I'm a comedian from Cape Town, and the reason I came up with that story years ago was just when you think that people know you learn your lesson the hard way. I was walking around, I was working in Joburg, walking around in the mall in Sandton, and window shopping like every Cape Townian, pretending you can afford everything that you're looking at. And but I know a lot of us do it, because you go, oh wow, don't you have this? Do you not have this in my size? And I go, no, wait till we're going downstairs. You're like, yeah, no. So I'm there, and I'm looking in the window, and this woman comes up to me, man, her eyes light up when she sees me. Now she's got a little boy with her, remember that? A little kid. The mall is busy. This woman does not care. She leaves the child's hand. He's holding her hand tightly. She doesn't care. Leaves the hand. She runs 5 meters away from him, comes to hug me. She says, I love comedy. I love comedy of the Cape. Please, can I get a hug? Then she says, now I must have a selfie. I must have a selfie. The little boy is standing there, meters away. And now relevant for the story, this is a white woman. We'll see why it's relevant. So, I don't just say stuff because I want to say stuff. Everything is thought through. I've got matric with exemption. And she's standing there, and then she drops the child's hand, and now she's hugging me, and she's got the selfie, and then she walks to a boy, and she changes her mind, brings him back to me, and says, stand there, take a photo with the uncle. I mean, this child is shaking. He's looking up, this blonde boy, looking up at my hair. I can tell he's thinking, Mommy, is this the boogeyman? And she no, feel for him. And she takes the photo, and I'm telling you, don't assume people know you. And then when she hugs me again, and she says, send all my love to the Cape Flats. And they walk away, and the little boy's going, Mom, who's that? This is within earshot. And she looks at him and says, man, were you born under a rock? Who doesn't know Solly Philander? I wish I made that up. I'm thinking of getting t-shirts and say, I'm not Solly. So of course, so you must see that people know. And when I thought, what today is about, I thought it's so apt, because currently, I'm doing a show where, a segment of the show focuses a little bit on the early days and where I come from. And when we say 20 years here, I started 27 years ago. I know, when I say that, you sit there and you go, oh my God, it looks good. It's fine. Just don't be envious. Just celebrate with me. Otherwise, you never prosper. And so, this is going back 27 years. And when I started, I like to talk about what was going on in my life. I still, when I walk on stage, I just talk about what's going on in my life. And I feel that audiences resonate with that. And so I grew up in the church. So when I started doing comedy, of course I spoke about the church. And our church was in Mitchell's Plain, in an area called Tafelsig. For the tourism people, that's Tafelsig. Very different to Tableview. She'll explain to you. And that's where our church was. Our church was called Pentecostal. Some of you would know that. You called us Happy Clappies. Back in the day, we used to swing on the chandeliers and do a lot of cartwheels in church. And I remember loving Sunday school because I was in Sunday school as Little People's Church. And I looked forward to November, December because we would reenact the nativity story. And then already I had ideas about being on stage and I wanted a leading role. I wanted to play the role of Joseph. But now I'm going back all these years and I looked at my Sunday school teacher and I said, please can't I be Joseph? Now bear in mind, this was in Tafelsig years ago. And she looks at me, she says, I know you're very talented, Mark, but you have problem hair. So you're going to need to operate the curtains. Because there was a belief. Come on, South Africa, there was a belief that Mary and Joseph needed to have straight hair. And I remember even just thinking, it must be so. The angel had to be white. The angel, don't look at me like it's just me. The angel, when you said angel when you were small, you never imagined Mike Tyson. The angel, he never came to your head. The angel needed to be white. Because as the Bible tells us, the people who read their Bibles will tell you, the story goes that the tidings were brought to Mary in the middle of the night. That she was going to bring to the world, she was going to give birth to the Messiah. And the angel brought the tidings, of course, that needed to be blonde, long flowing hair. Imagine you playing Mary there on the stage in Tafelsig, Mitchell's Plain, and you're lying there on your mattress with a posturepedic and jy lag vir die engel. And they cast me as the angel. And I just appear next to your bed in the middle of the night. With this tear gas hair. Angel sent to you from the Cape Flats with I'll wear Mary like it's pregnant. Hear me out here, 1 year in a moment of complete panic in Tafelsig at the 11th hour of the production. Our Sunday school teacher could not find a straight-haired Mary or a straight-haired Joseph in the church. So she went to the Muslim school next door to recruit a Muslim Mary and a Muslim Joseph. And it never worked. My best friend Nazim Dolly got to play Joseph. Mary is Wasifa. Nazim and Wasifa knew nothing about the Bible. Knocking at the innkeeper's door, innkeeper opens the door and Joseph's like, Assalamu alaikum. Innkeeper's wife, come in, alhamdulillah. Mary's like, shukran. Innkeeper is fine. So it's a different kind of different. And in the years tripped by, and I thought that my comedy career was just going to last for a few months. But before I knew it, people were coming like journalists. Now when a journalist writes about you, they use words that you didn't even know you are. And I was thinking, now they're talking about the genre. No word, cooking is a genre. And I started writing, and there was no guidance really. And it kind of took off. People call it meteoric. They said, Mark, it was meteoric for you. No guidance. And before I knew it, a couple of years gone, it was reported much in every newspaper. Allegedly, I had too much to drink one night. And allegedly, I got into my car. And allegedly, I veered. I'm with Sonnenberg. They said, just say allegedly. And allegedly, I veered into 3 parked cars. But people park out in Seapoint. initially, the people who've been through this will tell you, this is the feeling. Initially, I thought, I just went into one car, I got out. I'm like, my bro, here's the now 3 number plates. Before you know it, the tow truck drivers, even possessed that. They there when you're still thinking about the accident. They there already. I mean, that all looked at me like, my bro, we waiting here since Tuesday already. Flashing blue lights. At that time I was renting on Ocean View Drive. Flashing blue lights. When you see flashing blue lights, you know. No, not Ocean View, Ocean View Drive. When you see flashing blue lights, you're on the wrong side of the law. The cop gets out of the car. Obviously, 2 of them. The guy looks at me like a father who's disappointed. He tells his colleague, my wife is going to be shattered. My wife was this one's biggest fan. Now he's looking, he's upset. He's Lottering, he's gesuit, man. He was a mense, a slechte naam. I felt so bad. And then he goes back to talk to his colleague, whisper, whisper, whisper. Flashing lights of the van, Ocean View Drive. And he comes back to me and says, because it's you, we're going to offer you a special favor. I said, special favor? You know, so I don't have to, because I thought, thank God for corruption. No, because our ways are not God's ways. You can't question the way the Lord works. The Bible says God works in mysterious ways. So I thought, thank God for corruption. So I said, thank goodness. So I said, so I don't have to go down to the police station. He said, no, my bro, you're going down there, but on the way there in the van, don't sit at the back, I'm sitting in front. They take me to the cells in Greenpoint and they say, Cape Town will learn by you, Marc Lottering. You will spend the night in jail and you will appear in court the next morning and you will be accountable. Then, and as they're leading me to the cells, I hear my manager at the time arrived and I hear him in that foyer section. He says, well, the least you can do is put him in the cell on his own. He said, yeah, that's all right. I'm just entertaining you. I didn't say that. Your life must change. People who've been through that, your life has to change because you could have killed other people. You must have a change. I mean, the lesson is quite simple. It should be. If you are saying, oh, you cannot get into your car and drive. And my agent says to me, Marc, you must show remorse, go for therapy. And we didn't grow up going for therapy. They said the media will love it. Huisgenoot. So I just for entertainment. I sometimes just when I'm feeling down, I read huisgenoot captions. I read their cover. It's always very dramatic. You can imagine how it was for me. Hans Wors gesuit. Hans Wors, nothing meer nie. So, of course, they say go for therapy. I go for therapy, man. And I go to a very sexy house in Tamboerskloof. Therapy starts, the people here in therapy will tell you, it starts already when you walk in. You don't even know, you already pay because there's wooden floors. Do you know when you walk on wooden floors, down a passage, you just walk differently. Even if already your healing is starting. They play, Jane laughs, you pray for that guy. I'll never forget the music that was played. The first time I walked in, and it's like a water behind the song. The music, it was by an artist called Enya. Silhouette, 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 silhouette. To the Orinoco flow, to the Orinoco flow, to the Orinoco flow, to the Orinoco flow. Oh, oh, oh. Silhouette, silhouette. And once, by the time she got to the second chorus, she's singing Sail Away. I'm thinking, I'm okay, I'm okay. And if you are in therapy in the same house where I went, you know I'm not lying. There are 3 therapists who work from the house, 3 wonderful therapists. And the rule in therapy, my therapy friends here will tell you, you don't make eye contact with other people sitting in the lounge. You mind your own business. But that's the rule for you, not for me. I'm from the Cape Flats. I look to my left, I look at me, I'm like, wait, jy like het jy maar. I'm like, good, hashtag one flew over. I look to my right. I'm thinking, hey, serial killer. You like the Jeffrey Dahmer. And in retrospect, I wonder what they thought.